Namaste, everybody, and welcome to Round Glass. I'm Lama Yeshe Rabgye, and thank you so much for joining me for this session live from India on relieving anxiety during stressful times. So, today we'll be focusing on how we can deal with strong emotions. So, we all have these strong emotions, but sometimes they overpower us and we don't really know how to deal with them. And because we don't like them, we tend to fight them and push them away. And by doing that, we're making them our enemy. But emotions are not our enemy, they're our teacher. And we need to learn what can we do to learn the lesson of these emotions and let them go. So that's what we're going to be looking at today in this meditation practice. So, what emotion do you feel most intensely? Is it happiness or fear? Maybe anger, sadness, loneliness? When I was younger, even though I was a shy child, I was an angry child. I have no idea why. I think it was my mother's fault. She was an angry woman as well. So I used to be very, very angry. And it wasn't until I started doing meditation and following Buddhist philosophy. It was the first thing that I worked on because it was the one thing that was holding me back. And understanding that that anger is not our enemy, it's our teacher, it comes for a reason. To understand that allowed me to work with these emotions instead of fighting against them or trying to push them away. So I want to thank everyone for sharing in the chat today. And I see that what people emotions they're bringing today is joy, which is a great one, contentment, compassion, love. Wow, you've all brought really positive emotions today. So thank you for that. That's great. So if you have any questions, if any questions come up during this practice, then you can ask them in the chat, and I'll have the opportunity to answer them at the end. So please, anything that comes up during this practice, please put it in the chat, and at the end we can go through them. You know, the more that you write down your doubts and your questions, the more you learn and you get from this practice. So as I was been saying, most of the time we try to fight against emotions. So I'm not talking the emotions you brought here, contentment, joy, are wonderful emotions, but it's the other strong emotions, the emotions that are anger and loneliness and jealousy and pride, grief, all these type of emotions. Because we don't really like these emotions, we'll try to suppress them or we'll fight against them, even distract ourselves. And yeah, you may be able to distract yourself for a short period of time, but because you haven't dealt with the emotion is going to come back. So instead of seeing these emotions as our enemies, instead of trying to fight against them, we need to investigate them, look upon them as our teacher, and look, what are you teaching me? Why have you come? So that's what we're going to be doing in this meditation practice. We're going to bring up a strong emotion, we're going to look at it, we'll dissect it and learn from it and see what we can do to be able to deal with it so we can let that emotion go. And at the end of the meditation practice, we're going to end with gratitude because I don't want to leave you with a strong emotion. So we're going to end the practice by doing a gratitude practice, just so you end on a nice and relaxed and high note. You've already brought joy and compassion and love and everything, so I don't want to lose that. So let's get ready, sit nice and comfortable. So if you're sitting on a chair, just make sure your feet are flat on the ground and a little bit apart so you're nice and stable. Put your back straight so we can breathe. But once your back is straight, just drop the shoulders so you sink down. Your hands can be anywhere in your lap. If you can put the palms facing upward, it's usually quite good, but if you can't, it's uncomfortable, then facing down is fine. What I want you to do is to become nice and relaxed. So get yourself into a nice relaxed position. And when you're ready, just slightly close your eyes. So before we start doing the meditation, I want you to settle in. So listen for any sounds that you can hear at the moment. Don't engage these sounds. Just allow them to float in and out of your consciousness. And now check in with your body. Just do a gentle scan down your body from the top of your head, just very gently down to the tips of your toes. And what you're looking for is if there's any tension there, you're holding any stress there. If you are, on your next out breath, I want you to breathe that tension, that stress out. And then soften the area, relax, and then carry on with your body scan. So start from the top of your head and just slowly scan down your body. Now, finally, just check in with your thought process and your emotions. What is your thought process at the moment? Don't try to change it or judge it, criticize it. Just become aware of what your thought process is. And do the same with your emotion. What emotion are you feeling? Again, just become aware of it. Don't try to change it in any way. All we're doing here is just checking in with ourselves before we start the practice. Okay, so now I want you to place your awareness on your breath. And we're going to start by doing 3 calming breaths. So breathe in slowly and deeply through your nose and hold the breath. And then breathe all the air out through your mouth. Breathe in and hold. And breathe out. Breathe in, hold, and breathe out. And now just breathe normally. Don't force your breath in. Don't try to slow it down. Just allow it to find its own natural rhythm. And focus your awareness on the fact that you're breathing in, you're breathing out. And leave your awareness on that for a moment. And when your mind starts to wander off, which it will, just gently bring it back and start focusing on your breath again. And remember, relax. There's no wrong way of doing this practice. So now, I want you to think of the last time you had a strong emotion, such as anger or loneliness, frustration, sadness, whatever it is. Just think of the last time you had that emotion and bring it into the front of your mind. And to help you engage with that emotion, I want you to think about, where were you when you had this emotion? What time of day was it? Who was there with you? This will help you really engage with the emotion. Now, if this practice becomes overwhelming, then please just slowly open your eyes and just sit there and listen to the practice. So don't hurt yourself or torture yourself in any way. Just be kind and compassionate to yourself if it becomes overwhelming. So as you're sitting there thinking about this time you had the strong emotion, I want you to check in with how it's making you feel now as you think about that emotion. Usually, we turn away from these emotions and feelings, but in this practice, I want you to face them. But remember, face them with kindness and compassion towards yourself. So now I want you to acknowledge this emotion, and you can do that by labeling it. So label the emotion, name it to tame it. Because as soon as we name the emotion, it starts to lose a bit of its power. So acknowledge the emotion by labeling it. Most of the time, we fight against these emotions. So in this practice, I want you to accept this emotion, but don't identify with it. Don't say, I am angry, or I am sad, or I am whatever emotion you're feeling. I want you to say to yourself, at the moment, there is emotion. So accept you have this emotion and stop yourself fighting against it by saying, at the moment, I have this emotion. So now we've acknowledged and accepted the emotion is here. Now we can investigate. So I want you to ask this question. Why has this emotion arisen? So don't play the blame game, don't blame somebody else for the emotion. Take responsibility that the emotion has arisen in you and look at that emotion with curiosity and ask yourself, why has this emotion arisen? And now ask yourself, what is this emotion trying to teach me? Remember, the emotions are our teachers. So, what lesson is this emotion trying to teach me? Think about that for a moment. So, now we've investigated why the emotion has arisen and what is it trying to teach me. So, the next question we need to ask ourselves is, then what do I need to do to allow this emotion to go? Emotions are just a process in the brain, so they come to go. How can we help it on its way? What lesson do we need to learn, and what do we need to do? So think about a moment. What do you now need to do to allow the emotion to go? So this is how we deal with our emotions, how we can face up to them and learn the lessons. So while you're still thinking about this emotion, I want you to check in with your body again and see if you can find out, where are you holding this emotion in your body? We always hold our emotion somewhere in the body. So where are you holding this emotion? Do you have butterflies in your stomach? Is your jaw tense? Are you gritting your teeth? Are your neck and shoulders feeling tense? Where are you holding this emotion? Just check in with yourself a moment. So now let's pull ourselves away from the emotion, and I want you to think about Three things you're grateful for at the moment. One of them, a person you're grateful for. The other one, a situation you're grateful for. And the third one, a possession you're grateful for. So just sit and think about these three types of gratitude. Bring them into the front of your mind and just sit there for a moment with this feeling of good in your heart. So let go of that strong emotion now and replace it with gratitude. Now bring your awareness back to your breathing again. Just become aware that you're breathing in and you're breathing out. So before we finish the meditation, I want you to spend some time reflecting on the practice. How was it for you? Did you manage to find ways of letting go of your emotion? Do you understand the importance of acknowledging and accepting the emotion? And how has the practice left you feeling? So just reflect on these points a moment. And now just very slowly start to open your eyes. And just sit there a moment, just gently bringing yourself back into your room. So hopefully you've now changed your relationship, or you're changing your relationship with this emotion. Not seeing emotions as our enemies or something that has come to disturb us, but they've come to actually help us. So the more we do this practice, the more we learn about ourselves, and the more we learn about our emotions. What we're trying to do here is find emotions and why have they come, and set something in place. You'll tend to see, the more you do this practice, that you'll understand that emotions come and there's a trigger. And a lot of the time, the same emotions keep coming again and again and again. So by doing this practice on a regular basis, looking at different emotions, we're not just now our emotion, we're learning about ourselves, what situations trigger those emotions, what type of people trigger those emotions. So if anybody has any questions, then please feel free to put them in the chat now, and I'll be more than happy to answer any of your questions. While the questions, don't harsh on yourself when you're looking at these emotions. Emotions can be overwhelming, and they have a lot of brain power. You know, when we have a strong emotion, it's so difficult. We all know this. It is so difficult for us to really think straight, think through the emotion. It's important that first of all we calm ourselves down, we relax ourselves, because that is going to open up our minds. And when we're calm, we're present in the moment, we're relaxed, we can then start to acknowledge and accept those emotions. But remember, it's so important that when we accept the emotion, we do not say, I am the emotion, I am angry. Because if we do, there's no room for us to work there. Here's me and here's my emotion, and we say, I am. What can I do with that? I've told myself the whole of me now is this emotion. I've got nowhere to go. But if I say, here's me, here's the emotion, so at the moment, there is this emotion. So it's like I'm looking at the emotion, and we have room to work with that emotion. So when we're looking at them, don't acknowledge that emotion. So we have a question from, sorry, I can't read the Shah, I think it is. My emotion was anger. Through the meditation, I knew I'm worthy of honoring my boundaries. I am at peace. Thank you for the meditation. Yeah, I'm so happy to hear that. You see, now usually with anger, we really don't want to be looking at it. We try not to be looking at it. But actually, if we do look at it, if we do work with it, then we can set those boundaries and we can understand about ourselves. So this practice can be done sitting on the meditation cushion. But remember, when you've looked at the anger or the emotion, whatever emotion you have, when you've looked at that and you've decided it came for this reason and it was trying to teach me this, and so this is what I need to do, then when you come off the meditation cushion, do that. Because there's no point in going through the whole meditation, understanding it and saying, yeah, this is exactly what I need to do here, and then not do it, because then there's no point and we're not going to learn anything from that. So what we need to do is ensure when we come off the meditation cushion that we actually do that practice. So I think that this is a great practice to do whenever these strong emotions come. But if you don't have strong emotions, then we can bring up a strong emotion like we did here, and we can look at it. So look at what is the most powerful emotion that you usually have. Is it anger? Is it jealousy? Is it pride? So start by working on those strong emotions. And then bit by bit, you can start to look at other emotions. But when you start the practice, pick on those emotions that are the most powerful for you. So I've really enjoyed teaching this practice. I hope it's been worthwhile for you. So thank you so much for joining me. And please follow me on my profile so you can see other sessions that are there and you can look back and do this session again. So thank you so much for joining me. I really appreciate that. I look forward to seeing you again in another session. Until then, namaste.